And speaking of saying what you mean, I mean, Dan Bongino, who is a buddy of mine, was given some congressional testimony today about the Secret Service's response to the Trump assassination attempt. Let me tell you what I like about Bongino, and this is what I'm getting to, folks, about the saying what you mean, saying what's on your mind all the time. You know how I feel about the phrase silent majority. I freaking hate it. It's bullshit. If I didn't know any better, I'd say the deep state created it just to plant a seed in our mind to keep us silent. Silence changes nothing. We are the majority. The majority of this country are conservative. They're traditional Americans that just want the government out of our life, that just want to pay fewer taxes, that just want to take your kids to football, baseball, basketball, go to your daughter's play, that just want to be able to go out to dinner or afford groceries, afford to put fuel in their car, take care of their family, pass on generational wealth to their kids. They don't want to worry about, going out in the city and getting mugged or, their city being overrun by illegal alien invaders because of some open borders policy. Normal Americans are just like all of us. They want to be left alone by the government. They're rugged individualists. They just want to live their lives. But we're the majority. We should be saying what we mean all the time. And listen, I do this show. I lead in on the show saying we should pull no punches. This is the show that pulls no punches. But this trait among conservatives of being the silent majority, even I find myself saying, well, gosh, I don't want to say this. I don't want to get in trouble. Get in trouble by who? We win this fight by staying true to what we believe, and what we believe in is the Constitution. And these leftists, these radical commie fascists, whatever, these mini authoritarians, they don't believe in the Constitution. I'm going to play you a soundbite later to show you that they don't believe in the Constitution. But Bongino was on Capitol Hill, and what I love about this guy is he's a little bit of a knuckle dragger like me. Listen now, if he's watching or his producer, somebody watching the show, I don't mean he's a stupid guy. He's obviously a very, very smart guy. He's got the biggest damn show in the world. I'm just saying, he built his life serving this country, served as a police officer and then in the U.S. Secret Service. He also had his name on the ballot. You get in the fray, you get in the arena, you take your knocks, you get your licks, you know what it feels like to be out there. You get a look behind the curtain. And so this is why I appreciated his testimony on Capitol Hill today, where he just pulled no punches. He told it exactly like it is. And to Republicans who are watching at the local, state, and federal level, take a page out of how Bongino testifies to members of Congress today, just speaks his mind, because our country would be in a hell of a lot better place if our leaders and our politicians did this.
Well, thanks for your time. Thank you for doing this. Sound okay? Everybody hear me back there? Yeah. Great. Fantastic. Listen, let's just get right to the point. This was an apocalyptic security failure. A man was murdered in front of his family. 3 people were shot on live television, including President Trump in the head, who came within 2 millimeters of having his head explode on national television in front of millions of people. There's no sugarcoating it. It's no time for BS. Unfortunately, as Congressman Crane and Mills both indicated, the story seems to have been vanquished to the phantom zone of media coverage. It's amazing how we're still talking about JFK's assassination, but nobody seems to want to talk about President Trump being shot in the head on national television, despite the fact that we have no answers. So I have 5 minutes, so I want to keep it quick, and I want to make 3 points. I worked in the Secret Service for 12 years. I loved it. I worked with some really amazing men and women who gave everything. I mean, a couple of them literally gave everything. I know guys who've gotten bizarre diseases overseas, like chikungunya fever and protection operations. Everybody gave a little bit of something in the Secret Service, and it was a real honor to say I was part of it. But they have 3 institutional problems, I believe, in the macro will help us get to the bottom of how this Secret Service apocalyptic failure won't happen again. First, they have a technology problem. The joke in the Secret Service, which is sadly no longer funny when I was there, and it wasn't funny then either, is they rely on yesterday's technology tomorrow. Think about that. Yesterday's technology tomorrow. Everything from computer systems that waste agents' times, filling out time and attendance records they were doing, to Congressman Crane and I discussing the fact that they only implemented slings, a technology as old as the wheel, about, I don't know, 5 or 6 years into my time in the Secret Service, which is embarrassing. The weaponry was old, everything was old. These are things I would have talked about sooner if they didn't create a security crisis, and I obviously didn't want to air them publicly. Now you're seeing what happens when you don't have a drone up at a site you could have bought for $39.99 on Amazon. Second, another adage in the Secret Service, you've heard even the new acting director discuss, is the more with less approach. There is no more with less, there's less with less, okay? The Secret Service more with less approach only works if you produce more. That's how capitalism works. You produce a flat screen TV that was probably 20 years ago, $10,000. It's $200 at Walmart now. They produce a better TV with less. That's not what the Secret Service did. They produced less with more. They were given more money and produced less. A 20-year-old criminal outsmarted them on a $40 drone technology piece of device. You're telling me that's more with less? That's disgusting. That's nothing with less. That's less with more. Their budget went up. You guys know, you're appropriators. You know that. Third, and I'll wrap it up with this, turn it over to Mr. Prince. The investigative mission, the Secret Service, that they're telling you they need to make them better agents is total crap. That's garbage. Their agents are talented, smart people. They can figure out how to do protection without running out cheap $20 counterfeit notes at 7-Eleven on a Friday night while the president's getting shot in the head. How is it we have a DEA, we have an FBI, we have TIGTA, the IRS, CBP, and 1,000 other entities with a $6 trillion budget, which I know a lot of you guys have been fighting against this grotesque spending. $3 billion goes to the Secret Service, and we're wasting time running out counterfeit notes. It's a serious problem, counterfeiting. Granted, it might be a legacy item. They started doing counterfeiting. That's not what we do now. Get rid of the investigative mission, turn it over to other people, let them do what they do best and should do best. Protection. Thanks a lot for your time. Thank you for doing this. Thanks to the panelists as well and everyone.
I mean, listen, clear, concise, no bullshit. That's exactly what this country needs. And I know a lot of you watching and listening, and I'll get letters from you or emails from you. So I'd love to see the guy head up the Secret Service. I have a little bit of a different opinion here, and I'll tell you what I mean. Bongino needs to stay right where he is, because his ability to shape cultural sentiment, but also shape the way those bobos in Washington, D.C. think, he influences both. So he influences culture. If we agree that politics is downstream from culture, then Bongino's presence on the air influences culture, who then influence our politicians. So yeah, I mean, I would much rather have him stay where I think he would have a much, 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 much bigger impact with his podcast and on the radio than he would ever have serving as some bureaucrat. Now, granted, he's overqualified for that job. You saw the guy testify for yourself, but I'm telling you, this is what America needs right now. America needs ass kickers. America needs leaders. America needs strength. This country needs people at this moment to rise up and say enough is enough. Business as usual. Hey, listen, it ain't cutting it.
Mike Lindell here, and like you, I see our country being destroyed daily. We face massive economic issues, and I can tell you from firsthand experience, there are people in power who threaten the values that have made our country great. Well, I've been a believer in gold and silver for a long time, and I've searched for years for a partner that shares my values. Well, Genesis Gold Group showed me how easy it is to protect your IRA, 401k, or your retirement with gold and silver. Their faith-driven approach to service and stewardship is one that stands out from the rest.
To get your free definitive gold guide and get started learning more about investing in gold and protecting your retirement from uncertain times, visit treasureandtrust.com now. Fill out the basic contact form and a member of the team will be in touch. Again, that's treasureandtrust.com or call 855-625-7760.